so hot that people can get diseases such as skin cancer, cholera, food poisoning, sun poisoning, etc. Did you know we can lose all of our glaciers by 2030 because of the temperature rising and making the glaciers melt? We learned this from the fact that a lot of places have been partially flooded. Finally, Arctic ice seas have shrunk to 250 million acres because of global warming. As told to us by a bunch of glaciers have already melted, I guess. As you can see by the information presented, we feel that you should vote in favor of the Democratic Party as it relates to the topic of global warming. You may add, thank you.
Nice job. So let me ask the Republicans, was your representative, did she take all your viewpoints and was she accurate in giving her views to the whole Congress? Yes? No? Andrew, you're saying no. What did she miss?
Who's Andrew?
I'm sorry. You said no. What did she miss?
I had too much trouble with this. I couldn't hear the video.
Okay. So you didn't think that you were represented as a part of Congress? Okay. What was left out?
A lot of supporting details as to what, like CO2, what is it doing to help the earth? Is helping plants grow, which is creating oxygen for us to breathe, and stuff like that.
Okay, so you think that if you were going to represent, you would have some more supporting details. Good. What was your take on your representative? Do you think that you had everything that you needed to be persuasive? Yes?
No.
Someone saying no? What else? What could you have done to improve it?
We didn't really explain why it was happening. It was global warming that was causing it, but we didn't give proof. We just said, oh, the polar ice caps are melting or something like that.
So you think you needed more proof?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, you have another point?
I don't think it make sense. After I heard Maddie read it, I think didn't really write it so it was fluent. Couldn't really understand what we were saying.
So to be more persuasive, you needed to have a better flow? Okay.
Well, some people were talking more than others, and they were when someone was trying to say something, they would always butt in.
So we're going to come back to that. We're going to come back to the process, how we got here. But what I'm interested in is, do you think that your party was fairly represented in the letters that we're talking about? What do you think was missing?
Well, some people didn't get to say.
No, that's not the process.
Oh.
That's part of how we're going to talk about that after. Do you think that the letter that you read was representative of the you guys were Democrats, the Democratic Party? Okay. That's another problem with Congress, folks. It's hard to get everyone's viewpoints. So now here's the question. You all have information. Some of the information you have may be part of your belief system. Some of it may not be. If you were truly the Congress, and I were to ask you to vote today, how many people would vote in favor of the Republican point of view? Raise your hands. 1. Go ahead, raise your hands. 2. We have 2 people who are voting for Republicans. What happened to our pens? Here we go. Two votes. How many people, with the information that you have, would vote in favor of the Democratic point of view? Raise their hands. That is very interesting. So, let me count them. Hands high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. How many people are going to abstain or they just don't know? That's fine if you don't know. Good. That's 2 abstentions. So what did we say over here? 21?
Yep.
2 2 abstains. Okay. If you were Congress,
Can I be an abstain? I didn't know we were gonna do that.
you didn't know we were going to abstain? You can abstain. So we're going to go to 20 Democratic votes, 3 abstentions. Okay. So now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the process. And the process is how you received your information. So the first thing I'm going to ask you is, did you like using your laptops to gather the information for your project, for your information? Yes? Okay. Now, despite the fact that you had difficulty hearing, if I gave you a set of headphones to listen to it, would you have liked that better? Would that have been better for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you like working first with a partner?
Yeah.
Did you like working in your small groups?
Yeah.
Was it difficult to work as a larger group?
Yeah.
So let's talk about the difficulties we had with the larger group. What was hard?
Not everybody got a chance to speak.
Not everyone got a chance to speak. Why? Tell me why. Royce?
Because some people, like, when someone else was speaking, they'd butt in, and then the other people would ignore them because they butted in.
So they weren't being respectful of everyone else's time.
Yeah, so the people weren't respecting that.
So people weren't taking the proper turns.
Like when we were writing down the Democratic chart too, the top 5. If you were giving ideas in that, the people in your group would just think, oh, they talked enough, and then like Royce said, they got in. And you were
So it was difficult for people to decide whose information was the most, and if someone talked more, they thought that you were giving
like
enough information?
If you talked during the chart, you probably wouldn't get a chance to talk during the when we were writing the letter, giving your ideas, even if you did have a really good point, and you did say, and everyone heard.
So what I'm hearing is it was really difficult to work together to come up with the letter and the top 5. Yeah?
A lot of people were taking over it. They
Ah.
were just getting ideas from maybe 1 or 2 people.
What would make that situation different? How could that work differently?
Well, everyone stay in a circle and then they go to each person and ask for an idea as to which one's the best.
So we could have regrouped and organized differently. I think that would have been helpful. Oh, terrific. Juliana?
I don't think there was way too many people talking at once, and not everybody listened to everybody's ideas.
Okay.
I was thinking the same as Juliana, but because people were saying oh come on, let's do this, and then it was like everyone's trying to say something at once, and you couldn't understand anything you say, so you had to stop and make sure one person, and then we wasted more time.
So people just honestly were not taking their turn.
Like some people, they wouldn't ask you really. They just wrote something down, and they didn't really know what they were writing.
So it really wasn't a discussion. People were just writing things. Think about how Congress works, folks.
We only had 3 minutes and everybody was rushing and they really wanted to get their ideas down and everybody was shouting and then the people writing it down could only hear it.
So you felt pressured by the time frames. It's interesting.
If you wanted something and if you said it and people go, no, it's not good, listen to my idea is better.
So let's go back to your idea. If we regrouped and we sat differently, would that have been helpful? Good.
Well, I agree with Ryan how when someone says something, they just write it down. They wouldn't listen to any other point of views. Just write it down in order to say it. They didn't really figure it out and stuff.
Okay, so you had difficulty prioritizing because everybody was talking all at once.
Yeah. A lot of times when someone would start to talk, another person would try to talk over them. So then everyone was just talking over everyone else and you couldn't hear anything.
So we're going back to people not being respectful of each other's point of view. Could that happen in Congress?
Yes. When I was trying to write everything down, there were all these ideas coming out and I was just getting really confused. So, sometimes I would write something that didn't make sense, and then other times I'd be having 2 ideas going at the same time, and it was really confusing because everyone was just saying what they had to say.
So the people that were selected as the group leaders needed to really take charge and say,